Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to the Xeon Remnants channel. And in today's video, we're doing another Road to Review. And it's going to be on my first ever paid commission. Yay! Huzzah! Booyah! Whatever, all that stuff. And it's going to be of this. Saladin's Vigil, a fusion rifle from the game Destiny. And so I've already started planning this out here. We got the stock and the ammo clip. And the main body part, I just kind of sketched it out briefly. Obviously, I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. But I just want to get an idea of the scale. And my main thing is to get this done first. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out here. And we're going to get the stock and the ammo part done first. And then we'll work on this separately. And then the tubey thingies are going to be PVC tube. And then we're going to cut them out and do that. I don't know how we're gonna do the designs in the gun, how it kind of spirals, maybe some foam, I don't know. And then we do the back stock, of course. So this is gonna be the first thing I've ever done that's fully out of foam and different materials and has nothing as a base. Normally I use a gun or a blaster as a base, but not this one. This is gonna be all me, so if it sucks, I'm not gonna get paid. Well, let's see how we do. Alright guys, so continue on. We've made quite a bit of headway on the Saladin's Vigil prop. This is the template that we had made. And this is the product. Now the in-game model shows that this stock is made out of wood. So I kind of did what I could to make it look kind of distressed and kind of hopefully like wood once it's painted. I don't know how it's going to come out. But yeah. So then we have here the ammo pack, which came out pretty good. Little bit lopsided, I think. And what probably the worst thing that I did was I used cement for this thin piece of for this thin piece of foam. I probably should have just used super glue. So it kind of like it caught and just warped that a little bit. It's not too bad. This came out a little bit better. So this is actually 3 pieces of foam, 1 thin piece of craft foam with the stencils cut out for the details of the ammo pack, and that is going to Velcro to the bottom so you can, okay? Then we have the next part, which is the stock, which goes like that. And so we have that cut out here. That's going to go right there. We have a little trigger in there. I'm going to start adding detail to this. There's quite a bit of detail in the base. There's like a cylinder in here with a wire and some vents and a couple things here and there. So I'm going to do as much detail as I can. There's some like a string wrapped around the handle. I'm going to use twine for that. And there'll be a stock here made out of foam. I'm going to work on that. And we're going to do some sights and paint it. We'll be done. So far it's come along really well. I'm learning some new things. Hopefully this wood comes out looking like wood. If not, then, well, it'll look battle worn, that's for sure. Alright guys, so update on the Saladin's Vigil fusion rifle. We're actually about done with crafting the actual fusion rifle. And I think it's come out very well. There's a lot of things that I can learn from. And I say this in all my videos, you guys. And while I was at Guardian Con, a lot of people asked me, you know, I don't know if I can do it. I can't make something like that. And I always tell them, you just got to keep trying. You got to learn from your mistakes and keep on going. And while I did make some mistakes, I'm actually extremely proud of this. And I hope that the customer that commissioned me to do this is also happy. So we have the main body of the fusion rifle. And it's 2 parts of foam. And then thin craft foam over it, giving it detail with the recesses and whatnot. The thing that I've learned very fast with doing this is that pick your glues for the appropriate situation. I'll give you an example. For this piece here, we put a piece of thin craft foam over it. Now, what I did was I used my contact cement, which you guys have seen before. And the thing with contact cement and this really thin foam is that if you don't get it on right the first time, once it's stuck, it's stuck. If you try and rip this thin piece off, it's going to completely obliterate, and at this point, it's not even going to rip off. I'd have to sand it down. But you need to get it on exactly right, or else you're going to have this. It's going to grab your pieces and it's going to warp them, because as soon as it gets stuck, you're screwed, and you just got to continue laying it down as best as possible. Now, I did go in and try and fix this a little bit as best as I could. Hopefully, once it's all painted, it won't be that noticeable, but you got to pick your glues. So for this, if you're going to lay thin craft foam on top of foam, I have a very good solution, and I've used it before, and I feel like I've forgotten about it. So let's go over that real quick, and then we'll move on. Alright, so in my opinion, if you're going to go ahead and lay really thin craft foam on top of something, your two best bets are going to be good old super glue. You got to work fast, of course, but my favorite, and I used it for this part and a couple of the later parts of this build, is going to be some kind of spray adhesive. In this case, 3M General Purpose 45. This is something that I learned from Evil Ted. He's one of my favorite prop builders, and I watch his videos religiously. I love that guy. This is awesome because what you can do, for example, when we did these, now the actual Saladin's Vigil has like these wrought iron barrels, and I really can't duplicate that. So the best that I thought was to wrap thin pieces of foam around. And what I did was I cut these strips out, laid them out, pinned them onto a box, and just sprayed them with the 3M. Let that dry for a little bit, let it get tacky. Then, whenever you have a chance, you come back, lay it down. The great thing about 3M is, let's say you mess up a little bit, you catch it early enough, you can very quickly pull it up, put it back down, you're good to go. It's not permanent. It's not as permanent as a glue as the cement or the super glue, but it gives you definitely more time to work with. And if I had done that in this part, if I had messed up, I could have most likely peeled this off and done it again. So you got to pick your glues for certain things. So I definitely learned that early on. Now, for example, the 3M here is not getting this piece down all the way, right? See, right now it's glued down, but for this is great because you can go back and you just put some super glue in there and put it down, and bam, you're good to go. So pick your glues wisely is my point for this. So we have this piece, and a piece of PVC with a thin craft foam design, and this is going to go like this, right in there, like that. Then we have our backstock, which is two pieces of foam, and of course with the thin craft foam over it to hide the seams, and then a piece of foam on the back to give it that nice textured feel, kind of like my scout rifle. And this has been damaged in a way because this is also a piece of wood, at least that's how it is in the game, and that's going to go like that. Then, as I said, we have the barrels. These are vacuum tubes wrapped in thin craft foam to give it that spirally type look. And all together, and right now I'm doing some work on the other handle, but all together I think this is coming out really well. And of course we have our magnets that will go in here, and that will be a feature of this weapon. So I'm going to get ready to start plasti dipping. Oh, and of course we have our rail scope here, and once this is all painted and everything, I cut out this piece of plastic. This is going to be painted clear blue, and it's going to be glued like that, just like the scope in the game. Oops. And that will look awesome, and that will definitely complete the look of the Saladin's Vigil. So we're almost done. I'm going to do a couple more bits of painting and everything. Alright guys, so we're at the end of basically getting the parts together before we paint and assemble everything. Now, one of the things I had an issue with was, how am I going to connect the barrels to the gun? Well, I thought of an idea. Cut out pieces of circular foam and super glued in pieces of small plastic piping, and what we're going to do is we're going to line this with some hot glue, and then these plug in very, very nicely. Remember what I said, choose your glue wisely. For this, we're going to be using good old hot glue. So we're going to hot glue the inside here, and then we'll plug it. And hopefully it should be very, very good. Okay, so continuing on with a little bit of painting. This is the bottom stock of the Saladin's Vigil, and we've added some quick seal in between the thin foam and the regular foam, just so there's not space in between there. And this is supposed to be made out of wood, as seen in the art. It's a wood stock on the gun. I did make the gun, that's how it is. And I was thinking, I could paint it brown, But I was at Joann Fabrics, ironically picking up some brown acrylic paint just to mess with, and I saw this Rust-Oleum Universal Hammer Forged Chestnut for wood, metal, plastic, and masonry. And it just has an interesting look to it. I don't know how it's going to look when I spray it, but I figure I would try it out. And this would be a good option. And if it sucks, then we'll just paint the brown over. But this might give me some options, because if I paint this and it looks good, maybe we can then wash this with the brown, and then we'll have 2 shades of brown, and hopefully then it'll look something like wood, right? I think. I don't know. Let's try this. For science. Okay, so we're going ahead and we're starting to put stuff together. It's time, I think, to test out my magnets. So as you can see, I basically dremeled some holes in here, and we're going to be super gluing the magnets, these guys here, and these things are, I mean, it's hard to get them apart. It's ridiculously difficult. So hopefully these will work as intended. All I'm going to do is super glue them in, and hopefully it works. Alright guys, here comes the moment of truth. Oh, let this work. Yeah, boy! Awesome. And that, look at that. So that is too cool. These magnets are just, they're just stupid. That's awesome. Mission accomplished. Now you can load your fusion rifle. That's sweet. Alright, so for the next couple of things to finish up this prop before we start really going in and detailing a lot of these pieces is just a bit of additions that the Saladin's Vigil has in the game. So firstly, it does have like these straps that kind of connect the barrels to the stock here. So basically what this is, the old belt I have, it's in a box of just random stuff that I use to make things. And this was the belt, and I basically just cut it straight down the middle. Right down the middle, daddy. And and made these 2 strips, and these are going to go and connect the barrel to the stock. And it's cool because this belt was really old and worn out, so it has like this nice distressed look. So that will go perfect with the gun. Secondly, on the back of the stock here, there's like a piece of fur that's kind of wrapped around it. So I went to Goodwill and I got this lady's jacket with a nice fur collar, as you can see here. And we're basically just going to be cutting this collar off and using a section of this as the fur piece for this prop. And then it'll be coming together. What we're going to do is going to detail the wooden pieces as much as possible, see what I can do to make them a bit more woody and not so shiny. And once we finish the main body, we'll be putting everything together, and hopefully it'll come out real nice. Alright guys, so this will be the end of the road to review. I'm just about done. I just want to show you real quick the differences between going ahead and adding more detail to your prop and not. So this side is basically done. I've went in and I've added silver to some of the screws. Started just adding silver in the edges and things like that. I'm going to do a little bit more, but just so you guys can see a little bit. And then we'll flip this over. And that's it without. So that, and like that, and like that, and like that. I think it's came out pretty decent. There's some things that I want to improve on. My plastic dip game is not good apparently because this had an issue with just being textured, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm pretty sure I sealed all this foam prior to plastic dipping, but I don't know. I mean, this came out good. This came out pretty good. So I don't know what happened here. I am going to try different ways of sealing foam. I'm thinking Mod Podge for the next one. Just to try it out, and because I have Mod Podge available, so why not? This is essentially the end of this road review for the Saladin's Vigil prop, my first commission prop. And I like the way it turned out. I learned a lot, like always. And hopefully the client likes it. And I tried some new things with magnets. And I tried some effects with stippling. It came out alright. But other than that, this will be the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. So until then, look out for the full review of this prop when it is 100% complete. Like this video if you enjoyed it, share it around, comment down below and let me know what you think. And as always, Zigzion!